Assalamu alaikum students. This is about Buddhism part 2, enlightenment. बुद्धिज्म बुद्धिज्म रिलीजन में enlightenment से क्या मुराद है? What is the meaning of enlightenment or what is the philosophy of enlightenment? To follow the eightfold path to its end to reach nirvana, final nirvana called parinirvana awaits the death of the body. In the meantime, the life of the arhat means the saint who has become awakened, is forever changed. Having experienced a foretaste of the final nirvana, having become awakened, the arhat is fully aware of the truth and is free of imprisonment by suffering, desire, and selfish individualism. As a result, the Arhat is perfectly compassionate, friendly, and even minded towards all things. यानी जब किसी इंसान के अंदर उसका इंडिविजुअलिज्म ख़त्म हो जाता है, उसकी सेल्फिशनेस, उसकी डिज़ायर्स और उसकी सफरिंग्स जो हैं वो उसके कंट्रोल में आ जाती हैं, तो फिर वो इनलाइटमेंट के फेज़ में आ जाता है। फिर वो अवेकेंड पर्सनैलिटी बन जाता है या सेंट पर्सनैलिटी बन जाता है। और बुद्धिज़्म, अकॉर्डिंग टू बुद्धिज़्म रिलीजन, वो इनलाइटमेंट को कैप्चर कर चुका होता है। In Buddhism religion, a strong family centered religion is not it is not a strong family centered religion. It mostly depend on the individualism, individual personality, awakened personality. It does not have formal models of family or family life or base its teaching around a family model. This is partially due to its strong focus on personal responsibility for one's own behavior, on detachment, and the individual's pursuit of enlightenment. According to Buddhism, their clothes are the saffron for a more appropriate name for the color. Robes monks wear dates back centuries. बाज़ इलाकों में ये येलो ऑरेंज कलर के हैं, बाज़ में मैरून कलर के भी हैं, ब्लैक हैं। Orange was chosen mainly because of the dye available at the time. The tradition stuck, and orange is now the color of choice for Theravada Buddhist followers in Southeast Asia, as opposed to a maroon color for Tibetan monks. Buddhist nuns also shave their heads and wear a robe, which is usually brown, maroon, white, grey, or pink. Symbols and temple art. In the early days, Buddha was not represented as it was seen as impossible and inappropriate. Instead, images of his disciples, the Bodhi tree, or his footprints were depicted as symbols of Buddha's disappearance into nirvana. बहुत सी पेंटिंग्स में, स्कल्पचर्स और रिलीफ में ये सिंबल्स जगह जगह बने हुए मिलते हैं और उनके टेम्पल्स के अंदर मिलते हैं, जहाँ पे बुद्धि ट्री जो है वो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग इमेज है बुद्धिज़्म के अंदर। और इसके अलावा फुट के जो प्रिंट्स हैं वो यानी निर्वाणा की तरफ शिफ्ट होने के को रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं, और ये सिंबल भी कई जगहों पे बने हुए हैं। Later art shows depiction of Buddha in the form of joint statues. Buddha is typically shown in one of three positions. Usually तीन positions जो हैं वो बुद्धा की बनी हुई हमें मिलती हैं sculptures में और relief में। नंबर वन है सिटिंग, रिप्रेजेंटिंग हिज एनलाइटमेंट, बैठी हुई पोजीशन में है, हाथ दोनों ऐसे गोद की तरफ रखे हुए हैं, माथे पे ओढ़ना बना हुआ है और थोड़ा वीक भी है, बाज़ जगहों पे पैलेस लाइफ वाला भी है, और वो इनलाइटमेंट को शो कर रहा है। स्टैंडिंग और वॉकिंग रिप्रेजेंटिंग फॉलोअर्स ऑफ हिज टीचिंग, बाज़ जगहों पे वॉकिंग पोजीशन में है, जो कि उसके प्रीचिंग स्टाइल को रिप्रेजेंट करता है। लाइंग डाउन रिप्रेजेंटिंग हिज पैसेज इनटू निर्वाणा। इस तरह की रिप्रेजेंटेशन जो लेटे हुए है और निर्वाणा को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है। इसमें थोड़े कम हैं, लेकिन इस तरह की भी बहुत सारी हैं। ज़्यादातर सिटिंग पोजीशन में बहुत ज़्यादा स्कल्पचर्स मिलते हैं। The portrayal of the Buddha differs depending on the part of the world where the image is found. Spreading of Buddha. Buddhism spreads in India, Asia, and West. The Buddha's ideals were spread by his disciples throughout India. By 390 BC, there were two distinct groups within Buddhism, Theravada and Mahayana. 297 BC, Buddhism became the state religion of a powerful empire in India. Missionaries sent all over Asia between 320 and 600 CE. Vajrayana Buddhism developed in Tibet. The spread of Islam and strengthening of Hinduism reduced the influence of Buddhism in India during the 11th to 15th centuries. Buddhism continued to thrive in other countries, for example, Western Buddhism. What are the Buddhist values or code of Buddhism? Number one is self determination. There are five major codes. Self determination, each person is responsible for following the Eightfold Path on their own. Mindfulness, Buddhists are to live in the present and not become distracted by the past or future. Compassion, the ability to see and feel from another's point of view must lead to action. Loving kindness, extending goodwill, caring and warmth to others without expecting reward. Detachment, looking at all events without bias or emotion. Hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. The Four Noble Truths, which are the basis of Buddhism, are all existence in dukkha. Dukkha means sufferings. It is a local word. The causes of dukkha is craving. The cessation of dukkha comes from the cessation of craving. There is a path that leads from dukkha. Number one, now I will explain these four with little details. To live is to suffer. Life is suffering. Number one is that life is suffering. This is not meant to be a negative statement. To Buddhists, we inevitably have to endure physical suffering such as pain, sickness, injury, tiredness, old age, and eventually death. This is inevitable. In addition, we will have to endure psychological suffering such as sadness, fear, frustration, disappointment, and depression. This noble truth does not negate the fact that life can also be filled with happiness. It just won't last forever. Number two is the cause of suffering is desire, tanha. Tanha is a local word. The cause of suffering is desire. According to Buddhism, an attachment to impermanent things create sufferings. The origin of suffering is attachment to transient things and the ignorance thereof. Transient things not only include the physical objects that surround us, but also ideas and, in a greater sense, all objects of our perception. मतलब ये कि बुद्धिज़्म के मुताबिक सिर्फ मटीरियलिस्टिक चीज़ों का ना होना ही डिज़ायर में नहीं आता, कि अगर वो अवेलेबिलिटी आपको नहीं है तो आपकी जो सफरिंग्स हैं वो स्टार्ट हो जाती हैं, बल्कि आपकी तमाम परसेप्शन से रिलेटेड भी चीज़ें, आपके आइडियाज़, आपके ख़यालात, आपकी थॉट्स जो हैं वो भी सफरिंग्स को डेवलप करती हैं. Ignorance is the lack of understanding of how our mind is attached to impermanent things. The reasons for sufferings are attached to impermanent things. The reasons for sufferings are desires, tanha, passion, pursuit of wealth and prestige, striving for fame and popularity, or in short, craving and clinging. Because the objects of our attachment are transient, their loss is inevitable, the suffering will necessarily follow. बुद्धिज़्म के मुताबिक ये सारी जो एलिमेंट्स हैं, जैसे पैशन है, परसुएट है, वेल्थ है, दौलत है, प्रेस्टीज है, अच्छा होने की ख्वाहिश है, फेम है, पॉपुलैरिटी वगैरह, ये सारी चीज़ें अगर आप को अवेलेबल नहीं है, ये आपसे मिस होती हैं, तो ये आपकी सफरिंग्स को पैदा करती हैं और ये तमाम लाइफ में इनके साथ बार बार का टकराव रहता है. नंबर थर्ड इज़ सफरिंग कैन बी ब्रॉट टू एन एंड. बुद्धिज़्म के मुताबिक सफरिंग्स जो हैं उनको कंट्रोल किया जा सकता है और उनको ख़त्म किया जा सकता है. द सेशन ऑफ सफरिंग कैन बी अटेन थ्रू निर्वाणा. और उसकी टेक्निक क्या है? निर्वाणा टेक्निक है. निर्वाणा रेफर्स टू द अनमेकिंग ऑफ सेंसुअल क्रेविंग एंड conceptual attachment. The third noble truth expresses the idea that suffering can be ended by attaining dispassion. Nirvana extinguishes all forms of clinging and attachment. This means that suffering can be overcome through human activity simply by removing the cause of suffering. कि जिस चीज़ से आपकी सफरिंग पैदा होती है उस कॉज को आप कंट्रोल कर लें या ख़त्म कर लें. दिस मीन्स फ्रीडम फ्रॉम ऑल वरीज. तमाम वरीज से आप निजात हासिल कर लें, ट्रबल से कर लें, कम्प्लेक्सेस से कर लें, फैब्रिकेशन से कर लें एंड आइडियाज़ से. तो फिर आपकी ये सफरिंग्स जो हैं वो ख़त्म हो जाती हैं. द फोर्थ वन इज़ द सोल्यूशन टू सफरिंग द नोबल एट फोल्ड पाथ. There is a path to the end of suffering, a gradual path of self-improvement which is described in the Eightfold Path. अब बुद्धिज़्म बताता है कि किस तरह से आप अपनी सफरिंग्स ख़त्म करेंगे और उसका तरीका क्या होगा. तो ये सारी चीज़ें एट फोल्ड पाथ की सूरत में डिटेल से बताई गई हैं. इट इज़ द मिडल वे बिटवीन द टू एक्सट्रीम्स ऑफ एक्सेसिव सेल्फ इंडल्जेंस and excessive self mortification, and it leads to the end of the cycle of rebirth. The path of the end of suffering can extend over many lifetimes, throughout which every individual rebirth is subject to karmic conditioning. In the next part, we will discuss what is Eightfold Path. Buddhism vs Hinduism. Buddhism arose during the Upanishad period 560 BC. So Buddhism shares many ideas with Hinduism. Hindus generally regard Buddhism as being a close relative of their own religion, but the Buddha himself was in many ways reacting against the Hinduism of his day. There are some similarities in these two religions. Both maintain that the universe is eternal, with ages of creation and destruction following upon each other. Both are believed to be eternal religions. They have come to be and passed away over and over again. Many worlds exist among this cyclical time scheme. Various heavens are inhabited by gods and goddesses, and hells are inhabited by demons. Between them are middle realms, including those of animals and humans. Liberation, moksha or nirvana from samsara, rebirth in one realm or another, is central to both. These are the similarities between Buddhism and Hinduism. And what are the differences between Buddhism and Hinduism? Hinduism is more speculative and focused on ritual, while Buddhism is practical and focused on direct inward observation of the human condition. Buddha taught that questions about the existence of God were for individuals to deal with on their own. For all official purposes, there is no God in Buddhism. The Buddha rejected all systems of class or hierarchy, that is, the caste system. Instead, he made everyone responsible for their own faith and salvation. Earliest sacred texts of Buddhism were written in Pali, a local dialect, while Sanskrit, the language of priests. The Buddha believed that through self effort, nirvana could be reached in one lifetime, regardless of one's position in society. Thank you, student, for listening.